I can't deny the desire to apply my inspiring, war-minded ideas to my digital lens.
Hey guys, welcome to EvonyBites. Welcome back if you are a watcher, and thanks for joining us if you're new. Let's jump right into Siege Mechanics, a continuation sort of off the last video. And what I want to do here is I'll try to go to an extremely impressive, amazing professional drawing I've got, and we'll talk about that for a minute. Okay, let's get that drawing going. All right, I hope you are as impressed as I am with this 2-minute drawing of Siege Mechanics. Welcome. All right, so you see the two squiggly lines on the outside of our picture here. That is the battlefield boundary. What determines that is the furthest range of the attacking siege on either side. Why does that determine the outside? Because no activity could ever take place outside of it. Because the furthest siege range reaches is the furthest anything would ever be sitting. So it doesn't matter how far inside the opposing troops are inside of that range. What determines it is the outside. So when a siege attacks, and that's going to be our siege machine over here on the right, you can see this arc coming over. We're going to look at the top arc, the one that goes further out. That is where the siege and battle begins as far as siege are concerned, siege on siege. So this siege fires at the furthest point across and hits at the back of the battlefield, and then begins like a sprinkler, if you will, to move inward to its closest range in a fan movement attacking. So sort of like reaching out with your hand, putting your fingers down and scraping like a bucket would, you know, on a tractor. Right, so the siege is going out across the sky, hitting at the back of the battlefield, sweeping inward till it reaches the inside of its range, which is not the whole inside of the battlefield. It has a minimum range. In fact, T-14 is so far out that its inward range is a little stunted. And then it repeats that factor within the round. So the round takes place, fans forward, repeat. Fan starts at the furthest point, fans forward, repeat. All right, well, both sides do this to each other when they take their turns in there, and they fan forward. This is why it nails various things. And then, if you will imagine here, I didn't draw it here because it get a little chaotic, but if you can imagine here, T13, T12, T11, T10, which I like to envision in my mind has a little different placement on the field, maybe in front of the T14 in descending order. So like the T13 are right in front of the T14, T12 are in front of that. I like to picture it that way. But in any case, they all have their own range. So picture now all of these fans going across the field, just like we've got this T14 one here. But now there'll be, 14 different fans covering a different further range and a different inward range, whatever their range may be. They all have a far one and a close one. All those fans going across the field, you can see that siege across the board absolutely devastates the entire field. It's sweeping everything like 14 sets of millions of sprinklers. He's sweeping forward. Okay, so the T14 are doing damage in their window range, which is a lot of things. The T13 are doing damage in their window range, right? And then now picture the other troops, which we're not going to get into much here, but the other troops are stepping forward in the consecutive rounds. They're moving forward, not the archers, not the siege, but all other troops are moving forward. Okay, and so they're moving through the progression out of some siege ranges and into other siege ranges, so it gets complicated. And where you see a big difference here is in a couple key places, and I'll explain what that is and why that is. And the first one I want to say is T11. I'll start with T11, and you'll notice that's where activity fell out in my last video, in my defense report. In all the heavy activity from T11 down, there was really absolutely no activity. And that is because at T11, the range significantly drops off and the positioning significantly drops off, as if T11 are positioned further forward on the field than normal proportionately, and their range is far shorter compared to T12, the next step. And I believe, okay, this is all hypothesis on my part, I do believe it, is that is because T12 at one time was the primary troop. So actually at one time T10 was the primary troop and K25 was maximum when I started. And then they went to K30 and yada yada. But what happens is every time they make a maximum troop, which right now is T15, they make that troop significantly better. They make it jump because it's the last tier. So it's like, oh, glory, congratulations, you made it to the last tier, so here's like some extra super crispy boost. Well, now we have a bunch of those because they've made the top tiers a bunch of times. Every time they do a major update, they're like, hey, a new tier, new top tier, new top tier, new top tier. Well, T12 was one of those, and T11 was the next troop you got to from T10 in the update. But it was all right. But you really want to pay out your nose and make Ebony rich and get the T12. And if you do, we'll reward you with some awesome stats. So T12 get quite a bit significantly better and have a better range on them. And they're just more powerful in the mechanics for some reason. There's even an invisible magic to them. I don't know. Ebony just made them nice. They're better significantly than 11. So 11 fall out of the battle a little bit because they just significantly jumped out of the range just a little bit. So they don't really do as much, and they certainly don't take as much damage due to positioning. And then 12 do significantly better. And that's why you see 12 thick in my account, and why 12 seem to perform better is because that at one time was the ultimate troop. T14 also was, so you'll see that jump. T15 also is, so you'll see that jump, right? T10 also was, so you'll see a jump from 9 to 10. That's pretty powerful. So I'm letting my screen go blank here. Sorry. A lot of talking. Anyways, this is the mechanics of Siege Machine, right? This is a short video, but this is just how it functions, literally, not getting any more complex than that. How does the Siege Machine function? That's what it does. Reaches out like a sprinkler. Picture it like, a one-sided rainbow or like a water hose spraying out. You know what I mean? It has the furthest drops that go out, and then the drops that have a minimum range, and it's not usually all the way to your feet. It's out a little ways. Well, it's the same way with Siege. On a stacked tier, moving backwards through all the tiers. So put that together with the mechanics of a defense. If you have heavy of all layers done in a very beautiful and harmonious way, married to the rest of your account with all your details, your stats, your gear, everything just beautifully lined up with a lot of focus, which we're going to get into on this channel. And hopefully I can help you get to that as long with other channels, lots of them, I'm sure. There's some great stuff out there. I hope to add to that. But together, we're going to get to a place where you guys start to see this come together beautifully. But that is where Siege fits in. That's Siege mechanics. From my view, that's how I use it. That's how I find success with it. It's simplistic, but it's going to give you something to work on. So study that incredible Picasso Siege drawing of the mechanics. Get into it, man. Do some experiencing and have fun. And comment away, man. Let me know what you got there. And again, hope your glitching is not bitching. EvonyBites out.